Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Glitter Glam Rock podcast.
Hi, I'm Marty. You forgot to introduce me, you bastard.
I forgot you were there.
Oh, well, that's easy. A lot of people say that.
How you going?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's good.
I was thinking today we'd talk about Tommy, the
Yeah,
movie,
yeah,
and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
yep.
Because, both those films were released in 1975, like the height of the glam era, and they've both got a lot to do with glam, haven't they?
Yeah, right. I never really looked at it that way. I always thought Tommy came a bit later.
No.
But
Yeah.
The Who actually had an album before they did the movie.
Which I love. I love
Yeah.
that album.
I haven't heard it actually.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah, they did that, I think, for how many years before the movie came out?
I think it was 68 or something. So
Oh, okay.
about 7 years.
Right. So is that back?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's right. They played at Woodstock. They played,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, and I was really pissed off about this too. Roger Daltrey came out. I think it was in 2012, and I was overseas at the time. And he came out and he did a tour he sang all the Tommy songs.
Did he?
It was
All
just
on his own?
him and a backing band, and he
Yeah.
did all the Tommy songs.
Yeah.
That would have been great, and it was at the Enmore Theatre too.
Oh, okay.
So it would have been a nice, cozy place to
Yeah.
see it. It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those movies were released at the height of the glam rock era, but they're also got a lot to do with glam rock, don't you think?
Yeah, well, as you're saying this, I'm thinking about Elton John and his massive boots that he wore. And,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you want glam, there it is there, right there. It's,
Yeah.
the elements. Yeah.
Singing Pinball Wizard, and he's got that silver ball on top
Yeah.
of his.
And
top
his
of
piano is a pinball machine.
Yeah. And that was at the height of the pinball machine era for us as well,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, because
Like,
we're
we were
always
right.
on the pennies.
The pennies were right into the pennies.
Yeah.
Weren't we? We must have pumped hundreds of dollars into it.
Yeah.
I remember it was 20 cents for 5 balls
Yeah,
back in those days, and then
5 balls, that's right.
Then it went to 20 cents for 3 balls.
yeah.
I felt so majorly ripped off.
Yeah, it's a real big deal at the time, wasn't it?
it was.
That's
So-
right, because when we were in Port Macquarie, those penny parlours, like they're always playing the glam rock,
Yeah.
on the jukebox.
Yeah.
So that's when we heard Susie Cortro, Gary Glitter,
Well, it was also down at the beach at the Golden Q,
the Golden Q, yeah.
where they had would be playing pinballs, and they'd have that blaring
Yeah.
out of the jukebox in
Yeah.
the good old days.
Yeah, it's they were the good old days.
And I had an auntie who worked at the Hoyt's Entertainment Centre, it was
Yes.
called at that time. I don't know if it's still called that. I know it's still there. But she was an usherette there, and she used to let us into the movies for free.
Yeah, we still
So-
we saw about Tommy about 15 times, I think.
15 times, all for free.
Yeah, that was great. We used to go in. I was going to mention that,
Yeah.
we got it coming in for free with your auntie working there.
Yeah. So, what's your first memory of Tommy?
My first memory was I think I was looking at the program or the album cover, and I think the album covers on record's half the fun.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm looking at the pictures of Roger Daltrey, and he's looking very stoned.
Yeah.
But he was deaf, dumb, and blind. And so I'm just looking at
Yeah, I've
these.
seen you look that way quite a few times.
Yeah, too many times.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is before I saw the movie. I think I got into the music before I saw the movie. But I'm constantly looking at the cover and the broken mirror
Yeah.
on the cover. And, Eric Clapton's on one piece of glass, and then you got,
Geez, I love that Eric Clapton part.
that's the best song. That's
yeah.
the best part.
Yeah. And that's not original. That's not, Pete Townsend didn't write that. That's a cover. That's an old blues song.
Is it really?
Yeah, I didn't know that till
No,
I
I
looked
didn't know that.
on the credits.
Yeah.
But that part's really freaky,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's the best part.
Yeah.
Because it goes from him as a little boy at Christmas.
Yeah.
He's sitting in his car, and then flash, bang, straight away.
Yeah.
He's just like, you see this big curly head,
Dude,
stoned
yeah,
looking guy, and you know he was deaf, dumb, and blind, and
worshipping Marilyn Monroe.
yeah,
And
and they were doing the 60s things, like a what do you call it, where they're popping the pills.
yeah. And at the end of it, he grabs the statue, and the statue collapses.
Yeah.
But the funny, the thing is about Rocky Horror Picture Show and Tommy is, and Jesus Christ Superstar, obviously, is they've got this a running theme. They've got the Messiah complex, haven't they?
Yep.
And which is what I think is really glam about Tommy and Rocky Horror, because they're showing that
They're big. They're big in personality, and literally,
think they're God.
yeah,
They think they're God, but not only that, they're sort of like created.
yeah,
It's like, you know, how people are saying, like, how now we're hearing that, you know, the whole, like, Alvin Stardust was totally created.
Yeah.
We're hearing a lot of Gary Glitter's,
Mike Leander.
yeah,
Thing, yep.
was created. His image was created. You know, a lot of that stuff was created, and this was sort of like a metaphor for the creation of glam rock stars.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Because if you look in Tommy, if you look at that, he goes from a deaf, dumb, and blind kid who doesn't know anything to that scene where he's the Sally Simpson scene.
Yeah.
You know, where he's performing in front of all those people
Yeah.
and they're worshipping him
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. And also in that, what I want to say, in that Sally Simpson scene, right at the end of the scene, she marries a rock star from California.
The
right?
Frankenstein-looking guy. Yeah.
And he's Frankenstein's, which
Yeah.
is a creation, which is a man-made creation dressed in glitter.
yeah.
So
all the elements are
yeah,
there.
so that was Pete Townsend saying, actually poking fun
At the glam.
at the glam,
Yeah.
at the glam thing. Yeah,
I don't particularly like the Who's music
yeah, I
in
know.
general.
Yeah,
I think it's boring, you know.
I love it.
But Tommy was a masterpiece,
Yeah,
and you know, in lyrics and musically,
yeah, and
well done, Peter Townsend, for that.
yeah.
That's-
and the film, you know, directed by Ken Russell, is
yeah.
just like it's a freaky film. Isn't
yeah.
it?
It starts off, you think, like a normal film, and then all of a sudden, all these freaky elements come in, like
Yeah.
snakes going through the coffin, you know, with the
Yeah,
Acid
yeah,
Queen
yeah,
and
yeah.
Tina Turner. That was another good part of it.
Yeah,
But I reckon the Eric Clapton part, that's it for me.
yeah,
And Pete Townsend and John Entwistle making a gate
Yeah.
with their guitars.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. And look, I think the real star in that was Keith Moon.
Yeah.
I loved Keith Moon in
Yeah.
it. That Uncle Ernie scene.
Yeah.
That's, you know, I mean, that's a really creepy. That's a really
Yeah.
creepy scene. It's, you know, talking about child molestation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how old Tommy was supposed to be at that point, but he was
probably
still a
about
teenager,
17, 18 or
yeah,
something.
Yeah. And Cousin Kevin.
Yeah.
That's actually my favourite bit. The Cousin Kevin.
Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
that's yours. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were telling me something about that guy. What's his
Well,
name?
his name's Paul Nicholas,
Yeah.
and he played Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar
Wow.
in the London cast.
Wow. Like, is he on the London recording, or is he on any recordings?
Yeah, well, he's
or
Jesus.
in what version?
The
London cast,
London
okay.
cast. Because I went.
What's on the cover of that? I can't remember the cover of that.
Oh, it's just a boring cover of the black and white cover, I think, with the angels. You know, like
Oh yeah.
I think it was that.
Yeah.
I collected all the versions of
I know
Superstar.
you did.
And it's not one of my favourites, like musically.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I got it
Yeah, of
because,
course.
like, I did that box,
Yeah.
which would be worth so much if I sold it. But no way will I sell it.
Yeah. So Tommy had, you know, that Messiah thing, and a lot of it was glam, I thought.
Well, yeah, the elements, everything was big, like I mentioned before. The boots of Elton John,
Yeah.
even the pinball machines, everything
Yeah,
was big,
yeah,
and that's what
everything was
glam
big,
was,
yeah.
you know. Like in Superstar, I know I've gone into Superstar a bit, but the crown of thorns on Jesus was a big star on his head.
Yeah.
It had to be big. It couldn't be a normal
Yeah,
crown
that's
of
right.
thorns.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, the glam element in Tommy was all that what I just mentioned, and Marilyn Monroe and the Tina Turner scene, and
That Tina Turner scene was freaky,
Yeah.
like being injected with acid, those that needles with that red liquid in it.
Yeah.
And that part where she's shaking
shaking. Yeah.
at the end.
Well, I think they were hinting the drug element too. Like
Well, that's
the
a
needles.
pretty
Yeah.
blatant hint. Like,
Yeah.
that's he went on the acid trip of acid
Yeah,
trips.
the Acid Queen itself. The title is blatant. But yeah, when she's shaking, this is after we saw these injections and that.
Yeah. You're listening to the Glitter Glam Rock podcast. I really loved Oliver Reed in that as well. I thought he was really funny.
Yeah, he was. I was going to say funny,
Yeah.
like the drunken mafia guy.
Yeah.
When he
Yeah.
was walking up the stairs, and then he
Yeah.
turned around like,
It was something like out of Wacky Races.
Yeah, but
that the Ant Hill mob in Wacky Races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was all. I think it was deliberate.
Oh, of course.
Looks stupid,
Yeah,
like
of course.
he's supposed to be the big mafia man, and the way he's walking up the stairs,
And when he
turns around
sculls that bottle of I think it's Jack Daniels.
at Christmas.
Apparently it was real alcohol.
Oh, was it?
That he sculled.
Yeah, well,
Apparently, because he was
in real life, I think
he was a bad drunk. But
Yeah.
that's what that Christmas song is one of my favorite songs.
I love it.
That and Tommy doesn't know
Yeah,
what
the
they're-"
music in that is brilliant.
Yeah,
I
The music in
love.
that's brilliant.
I can't say it anymore. I can't give him a big enough rap for the music. The music in that film was unlike the normal Who. It was brilliant. They just went up a notch.
It's so we were talking about both those movies, how they've got that Messiah complex, and both of them actually have like the fall of the Messiah,
Yeah.
don't they?
The fall of Messiah, just like the fall of Jesus. When he got
Yeah.
crucified, the crowd turned against him.
Yeah,
The crowd turned against Tommy as well.
yeah,
And they killed Anne Margaret and Oliver Reed.
yeah.
And then at the end, he just ends up alone on a mountain.
Yeah, but it's also what happens to rock stars, isn't it? They build up this huge following, and
Yeah.
then in the end, if the crowd doesn't really turn against them, but people just leave them.
Yeah, I think maybe he was secretly trying to say that
Yeah.
all rock stars fall.
Yeah,
They rise and they fall.
yeah, that's right.
And he did that with Tommy. Brilliant film. I love it.
And I love Tommy. I've seen it so many times, but I really love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I love that. I remember, like, the first time I saw that, when it came out, I was very young, and
Picture show or
the picture show.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went with Patrick. Patrick wanted to see it.
Yeah.
So we went there, and I remember sitting there, and
Tivoli. Was that little theatre? The Tivoli. Is that
Tivoli.
Tivoli?
Yeah, I can't remember where it was, but I just remember sitting there, and I remember thinking at the time, because to me, it was at the height of the glam era, and Frankenfurter reminded me so much of Gary Glitter, David Bowie, Bolan sort of rolled into one, that I was sitting there and I'm thinking, oh wow, this must be what those guys do when they're at home.
Yeah.
They must have girls walking around in suspenders and
Yeah.
stockings.
Yeah.
I thought this is the excess
Yeah.
that they had, the debauchery that was going on. I thought that was what was happening behind the scenes in glam rock.
Yeah.
When I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
It
It was a pretty freaky thing to, see as a kid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At our age.
Yeah, and it was the character Frankenfurter was modelled on Gary Glitter and David Bowie.
Yeah, well, I never thought of that until I got into this second wave of glitter. Yeah, I never really thought of that, but it's Gary. It wraps him up.
Yeah,
That's him.
it does. It
Yeah.
does. And I think that if it wasn't a movie and some producer
Gary would have done it.
Well, some producer got a guy, and they just called Tim Curry, for example, and they called him Frankenfurter, and his single was "Sweet Transvestite," and
Yeah.
he went on top of the pops.
He would have
in
been
the
like
middle.
Wizard or something.
Yeah, it would have been huge. It would have been massive. It would have been
Yeah.
controversial, but it
Yeah.
would have been a big glam song, you know?
Yeah.
So I really think that a lot of Rocky Horror was commenting on the glam rock era.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? As we were saying, you've got the Messiah, you've got the rise and fall of the Messiah.
Well, the same thing happened there with Frankenfurter, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
He ended
yeah.
up falling at the end.
Yeah, and he was killed by his servant who was dressed in gold and glitter
Yeah.
stuff at the time. And Time Warp, in Time Warp, Little Nell's wearing her glitter top and a
Yeah.
glitter hat. And the harmonies in Time Warp, you know, those high harmonies, they always reminded me of the high harmonies in the T-Rex songs.
Yeah.
You know?
So did he actually get killed at the end, did he?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
they shot him in the end.
Because I remember that song, I've done a lot, know how much I tried or something.
Yeah.
I'm Going Home, it was called.
Yeah. He thought he was going home.
Yeah.
So at the end, he thought they were taking off back to Transylvania in outer space. And Riff Raff shot him. He said, "You're not coming."
Really?
Yeah. You don't remember that?
No, I missed that part. But I didn't really get into that. It wasn't one of my favourite movies.
It was for me. I loved it. Mainly because I was totally in love with Janet.
Yeah.
And
As we all were.
yeah. But I had a thing for Magenta
Yeah.
as well, you know.
She was the servant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're when you're that age and you're seeing those grown
Dressed up
women
and-
walking
yeah.
around in suspenders and stockings,
Yeah.
it just really gets you.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused as I didn't know what a transvestite was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it didn't shock me that much when I saw Frankenfurter when he sang "Sweet Transvestite" because of all the glam stuff we'd seen. Because
we're
I'd
used
seen
to it.
Gary Glitter, I'd
Yeah.
seen Bowie, so it wasn't. It was a bit more over the top, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as shocking as it probably would have been to anyone who wasn't into glam.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about the guys that we used to hang around with in the flats.
Yeah.
They played football.
Yeah.
They couldn't understand what we were doing
Yeah.
with the tennis rackets.
Yeah.
So imagine if
They
what
saw
would
it.
have
Yeah. But the thing is, they probably would have saw it, acted shocked, and then went home and masturbated about Frankenfurter.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yep. I'm thinking of particular people when I say that.
Yeah. You're listening to the Glitter Glam Rock podcast. Which brings us to another glam film, Remember Me This Way.
Yeah, well, I've watched that a couple of times now. Now I'm in my second wave of glitter. That's another story. I'll explain that later.
Oh, you've explained
I've already have it
100 times.
Yeah, in another podcast. Yeah, Remember Me This Way. They've already done the first album, the Glitter album.
Yeah.
And it was a huge success.
Yeah.
So when they were doing this movie, they were doing the
I remember they were pressing Touch Me or something. They were saying they couldn't press it fast enough or whatever, or something
for
like
the
that.
sales. They were pressing it.
Yeah.
And it actually showed the Glitter Band playing on songs like Happy Birthday and
Really?
IOU. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. In the studio or?
No, it didn't look like a studio. It just
Right,
looked
just
like,
rehearsals.
yeah, rehearsals. They were
yeah.
in normal clothes, and
Yeah.
John Springate was sitting down playing the bass.
I remember Mike Leander coming out and saying something like, "Touch Me has sold X amount of copies, and it's going to be like number 2 that week or something." You know?
Yeah, he kept saying like the first album. It's going up there like the first album.
Yeah, yeah,
So they were just on the finishing touches of Touch Me at the time.
yeah,
And they showed a lot more Glitter Band. I noticed as I watched it, the second or third time,
yeah,
I picked up more of the Glitter Band, how involved they were in.
yeah,
Like it showed, there was a scene of John Springate laughing at Harvey. Gary was saying something to Harvey, and Harvey looked like he was struggling to understand, and John Springate was laughing.
Was John Russell in it?
Yes,
He
yes,
was. Yeah.
they showed
Oh
quite
yeah,
a,
he was because I remember them playing the sax
yeah.
in it. So they actually had them pretending to record "I Love You, Love," but you know what it was? They were recording it for Top of the Pops.
Okay, yeah, because I was kind of confused because "I Love You Love" was already out. It's already been a smash
Yeah,
hit,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I thought, what are they doing it again for?
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, John Russell, he was in it quite a bit. They showed him stopping and starting and smiling when they say cut and all
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And
And
it had like stupid things like what was that thing where Gary's on the phone talking? He's sitting on his bed. He's talking to someone on the phone, and then all of a sudden he gets up and these guys break in and he's doing stupid kung fu moves.
yeah, well, before that, because they tried their hands at a movie. It reminded me of Rocky 2 when they had Rocky in a cage. They were trying doing
Right.
the advertisement.
Yeah. Right.
It was like that.
So he was auditioning for a film, was he?
They tried to make a film, and I think they realised ads wasn't his thing.
Yeah.
But before that, Mike Leander came up with the idea of, well, he said, well, we'll throw a party this time.
Yeah.
So you see Gary walking down the stairs, and then he's kissing each
Yeah,
other,
that's
saying
right.
hello.
He enters like he's Marilyn Monroe, doesn't
Yeah.
he? He's coming down the stairs. Yeah.
Well, he was. He was
Yeah.
at the time.
He was massive.
He was the man.
Yeah, he was the man. Yeah.
And so he was very polite and charming
Yeah.
and saying, "Oh, I got to get around to everyone." So
Yeah.
um, yeah, the more you watch it, the more little things you pick up.
I remember like when we were kids, and we've discussed in length the album,
Yeah.
but we knew that there was a movie. We knew there was a movie, but we never got a chance to see the movie because the movie wasn't released here.
Oh,
And I always thought that the movie was the album.
yeah.
I just thought it was a live movie. I didn't know that it was sort of like a documentary kind of
There
thing.
was a documentary of doing that album and that particular concert.
Yeah,
So all that was real.
Yeah.
They just showed the pre.
yeah. But they don't show the whole concert, do they?
No.
Yeah.
Um,
They show Gary putting on his makeup and he's drinking a cup of tea and
Yeah,
he's just
yeah.
really quietly says to the guy, "How long?" or something.
Yeah.
And you can hear the girl screaming.
Yeah.
You can hear the girl screaming outside in the concert hall.
Yeah, and I think he said he was struggling with. He kept saying, "Oh, I've got to get that song right," and I think that was IOU he was talking about.
Right.
That middle part,
Yeah.
and Jerry had to do it on the guitar.
Right.
Um,
The concert footage for me is very disappointing because it's filmed from far away.
yeah,
It's filmed like it's from like the back of the hall, you know?
yeah. Well, back in those days, as we know, we're trying to get the superstar footage.
Yeah.
they didn't have what we
But
have
still,
today.
no, but still, like if you look at the Woodstock footage is really good.
Yeah,
You know, this was like from right up the back, and you can
Yeah.
sort of hardly see anything. And they didn't have the full concert, did they?
no,
In
they
Remember the
just
Slave?
played the first 4 or 5 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They must have recorded the rest. I would have liked to have seen what happened to the rest.
But he said, see, they did the first 2 albums with just Harvey and John,
Yeah,
and Mike Leander, right? Gary said in an interview that "Remember Me This Way," the movie and the concert, that's the first
real
of the glitter band. Yeah, that's
first
where
real glitter band.
yeah, that's where the
when
glitter
they
band
first
came in.
joined in. Yeah. What else do you remember from that movie? Any other little bits that someone else mightn't have noticed?
No, I don't think so. Just cut there. You're getting into the songs of the concert.
Yeah, I remember one little bit where Mike Leander mentions Hello, the band Hello. He says Hello are doing good because he produced that Hello album.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So anyone that's into Mike Leander's production and hasn't heard that Hello album should listen to it because some of the songs, you've heard Tell Him. That sounds very
Glitterish.
glittery, and a lot of the songs are very glitterish on that album.
On Hey, you're talking about?
No, on
Oh,
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. I should look into that.
Yeah.
It sounds like something I'd like to listen to.
You're listening to the Glitter Glam Rock podcast. You never saw that Bowie movie, did you? Ziggy Stardust
No.
live. That's really good.
Yeah, I thought it would be good.
Yeah, that's a really good. What's the word?
Cult.
Record. It's a good record of the glam era.
Oh, okay.
Because that's basically a live performance. It's filmed really well.
Yeah.
Filmed really well, and it shows a lot of backstage stuff as well.
Yeah.
It shows him putting on his makeup, shows him getting his costume changes and
Yeah.
doing that. But the audience in it are just like crazy. Bowie nuts, you know what I mean? They're probably the same girls that are going to the Gary concerts
Yeah.
and everything like that, but they looked a little bit older, just a touch older. And the performance and the music was just unbelievable. Like the band he had were fantastic.
Did he have that Aladdin Sane makeup on that one, or was that a different?
No, I think he had, I can't really remember, but I think he had that. Have you seen that? He had the orange hair, and have you seen it when he's got the circle above his head? He's got some makeup circle above his head.
Okay.
But he had all these, a lot of costume changes. There was a lot of, it's real glam.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
Yeah, you couldn't get any more glam than Bowie.
Yeah, that's right. I really love that film. That's something that I watch
Yeah.
every now and then.
And so what's it called?
I can't even remember what's
Ziggy
called.
Stardust and the
The Spiders from Mars, I
Yeah.
think, yeah. And you saw a film which I haven't seen, Never Too Young to Rock.
Yeah. I heard the Glitter Band were involved in it, so I had to get it. So I ordered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much of a plot to it. In fact, the the movie itself is shit, you know.
Yeah.
But I think they didn't care.
So who's in it? Who's in it?
We got the Glitter Band,
Yeah.
Mud,
Yeah.
and the Rupettes,
Yeah.
and this other band, someone's Whoopie Band,
Some other bands in it.
Yeah.
Eh? Yeah.
and but this Whoopie Band didn't have
Much to do, yeah.
and it mainly focused on two guys, one young guy and this nerdy sort of guy, Mr. Rockbottom.
Right.
Were in a band chasing bands because they needed bands to do this stage thing.
Yeah.
So they said, "Oh, look, few meters away, I think we're going to get the Glitter Band." And then they started playing Angel Face, and
Was it the original recording? Were they miming to Angel Face, or was it live? Or
well, they didn't actually do Angel Face. You only heard it,
Right.
But when the two guys were approaching
Yeah.
the shed where everything was happening,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then when they did get to the shed, they did a couple of glitter bands. It was really good.
Was it from Hay or?
It would have been from Hay because John Russell was in there.
Yeah. Right.
So so they did. Actually, Let's Get Together Again. John Russell wrote
Yeah.
with Jerry Shepherd, but didn't appear. He was missing in the next album. But they did that song Just For You, and
Did they do anything else from Hay? Did they do Tell Him or anything like that?
no, I think it was just Let's Get Together Again, and Just For You. I think there was another one. I just can't think of it.
And
But
what did Mud do?
Mud were they did Tiger Feet right at the start. Like they went into this bar and there was all
Right.
these football crowds or something,
Right.
and Mud was in somehow involved with this crowd. But later on, at the end of the movie, they had a few clips of all these bands, like the Rupettes, Glitter Band, and Mud.
Right.
And they did about 3 or 4 songs of each. And then at the end, they all got together and they were all on stage together, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a fun, popcorn sort of thing. I only bought it because of the Glitter Band.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also a Bolan movie, a live performance, which was directed by Ringo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard
So
of that.
that's I've only seen bits of it. Like at the beginning, it's really weird. Bolan and Ringo are driving in the desert,
Yep.
and but talk about hysteria with this Bolan T-Rex thing. It was like the Beatles. You know,
Yeah.
they were going off.
Were they?
They were going off, and you know, he was good too. He was good live. They were all good live.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I haven't heard of that one.
and then there was Slade in Flame.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that. I've got Slade Alive on video.
Yeah,
Admittedly, I haven't. I can't remember. I think it was mainly live. It reminded me of the Stones Rock and Roll Circus. They had a certain amount of crowd,
right.
but it was, you know what I
Oh,
mean.
okay. So it was sort of like,
It was like a circus sort of thing,
yeah,
and they were playing all their hits.
yeah. Slade in Flame was like, it was a very different type of rock and roll movie.
I can imagine.
It wasn't like they were huge and everyone was chasing them. It wasn't
Yeah.
a live performance. It was about this band called Flame, which sounds like Slade,
Yeah.
trying to make it. And
Okay.
they get involved with the mafia, and the mafia want them to do certain things, and in the end, they walk away from
Okay.
it. So it's quite a dark, movie. But the costumes, some of the costumes in there, like, are sort of like, you know how Slade used to dress. They
Yeah.
dressed like that, except they had flames and fire everywhere.
Okay. Right.
So it was quite a glam movie, and
Yeah.
the songs, they had some really good songs on it.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So, you know, another glam movie. It's called Phantom of the Paradise. It
Okay.
was released around that time, and that was again. It was like Phantom of the Opera,
Yeah.
but it was.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah, but it was. It had a guy. I can't remember his name. I can't remember much about this movie, but it had a guy, and he sort of looked like Gary.
Yeah.
He dressed a bit in the
Glitterish.
gold satin type thing, and he was a rock star at the time. And the Phantom, who was going around killing all these rock stars, just gets this lightning bolt and throws it at him and just zaps him.
Right. Good concept.
Yeah, it would have been a good fitting end for Gary, really,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Need a little bit of glitter? Need a little bit of glam? The Glitter Glam Rock Podcast is here for you. You know, what kind of glam movies would you really like to see? For me, for one, I would have loved to see a film of the Glitter Band in their heyday when John Russell was in the band. You know, when they were doing Hey, I would have just liked to have seen a concert.
Yeah. I'd love that.
Yeah,
In fact, I was looking for that on YouTube.
yeah.
So-
There doesn't seem to be one, does there?
No, I think the closest thing you can get is what we were talking about, the Remember Me This Way,
Yeah,
which was Gary.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'd love to see something like a doco on the Glitter Band.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And then like a full concert.
Yeah.
And yeah, John Russell had to be in it.
yeah. And I'd also love to see a full concert of, say, Alvin Stardust
Yeah.
when he released the Cougar Chew album.
Yeah. I love
know?
that album.
Yeah, that's a good album, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it was. Not everyone would like that album,
No.
but I did.
Yeah, I liked it too. It was, I don't know why it sounded glam, but it sounded glam. You know, it just had this glam sound to it.
What was his name?
Pete Shelley.
Peter Shelley.
Yeah.
He put all that reverby
Yeah,
stuff on,
yeah.
you know, and it's
And those guitars are a bit glitter bandish, aren't they?
Yeah,
That sort
for
of,
sure.
Yeah. And it was different from what was going around.
it
Were there many hand claps on that album? Well, there wasn't hand claps on Cougar Chew or
I don't
Jealous
think. Yeah,
Mind
I
or
don't think
anything.
they had ham claps.
Yeah.
It was Peter Shelley just made it very reverby, and it had that real glam sound. You know?
Yeah.
Like Hush with Walking.
Yeah.
That any like reverb was a big factor.
Yeah, and there's a mini documentary on The Suite. It
Yeah.
only goes for like about 10, 15 minutes. But I'd love a documentary made on The Suite back in those days. You know, 1974, a full-length documentary, maybe showing them playing live in front of an audience.
Well, didn't I lend you one?
Yeah, but that's not made in 1974. The one you lent me.
It started from the roots. It was a documentary. And yeah, it started from Coco and all that. They were
Yeah, but I'm talking about something that was actually made in 1974.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Something that was sort of like following them around,
Yeah.
going to concerts. Something like Remember Me This Way.
Yeah.
done with the Sweet in
Yeah, right.
1974.
Yeah,
Would have been good if there
that
was.
would've been good.
Yeah, it would have been good if there was one on, like we said, on Alvin Stardust and
Yeah.
one on the Glitter Band as
Yeah.
well. But they didn't seem to be doing much of that back in those days.
No.
I don't know why the Sweet didn't do it, because they were massive. They were
Yeah.
huge.
Yep.
You know?
I'd love to see that Glitter Band. The Glitter Band, when they did Hey, that was the ultimate.
Yeah,
When John Russell left, it was Rock and Roll Dude. Still a great album.
yeah,
And then after that, it was.
yeah.
But
Yeah, no, Hey was like
Hey was
the pinnacle.
Yeah, they looked good too. You know,
Yeah, they looked good. They had the
orange hair and all that.
yeah, and the real glittery sound. But you actually like their image before Hey, don't you? When they had the long hair.
Yeah.
When they had the really long hair. Yeah.
To me, that's what I look for when in those Gary clips, like "Hello, Hello, I'm Back Again."
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at the Glitter Band, because that's when I loved it, when they all looked like Jerry Shepherd had the really long hair and the star guitar.
Yeah.
And John Springate, they all had the real long hair.
Yeah.
Harvey.
Yeah.
And then as they progressed, the hair got shorter
Yeah.
and,
More clean cut.
yeah.
More clean
By
cut.
the time Rock and Roll Dude came out there,
Yeah.
two different people, you know?
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen those, more of those glam movies like that. Who
But,
knows? Maybe there's some footage lying around somewhere.
Well, that Baby Please Don't Go, when in Moore Park,
yeah,
it's a Gary concert and it just looked like these long-haired band.
yeah.
That's what I look for.
Well, where's the rest of that footage? That's what I want to know. I mean, surely he didn't get up and just sing "Baby Please Don't Go." "Baby Please Don't Go" is usually the second or third song, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I know he did "Do You Want to Touch Me," but for some reason, "Baby Please Don't Go," in about 3 or 4 versions, is the only one on YouTube.
Yeah. How do you know he did "Do You Want to Touch Me"?
Because that DVD Dave did for me.
Yeah.
On one of the clips, they finished "Baby Please Don't Go," and then he said, "Do you want to touch?"
Right.
But then it cut in,
Right.
So unfortunately,
Oh, so that clip that you've got, because the clip on YouTube has got the music from "Remember Me This Way" over the top of it. So the clip you've got must be the actual audio, is it?
yeah, it's the actual audio.
Yeah.
of
Well,
the
how does
whole
that
part.
sound? How does that sound?
It sounds okay. It's not the best, but it's good enough for a fan to watch.
Yeah.
One of it was really dodgy, and then they did one that I think was the best. They did one, and it looked like it was in a dark "Do You Want to Touch Me" days,
Right.
and they all had the long hair, and they're all miming "Baby Please Don't Go."
Right.
You know the one I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I do.
That is my favourite clip.
Yeah.
And then
That's good, that clip.
yeah. Like Jerry and John are like bopping up and down, doing all these things. But the Moore Park thing, there was about 3 or 4 clips of the same song.
Yeah.
Only I would have that on a DVD.
I'd just like to know where the rest of the concert is.
Yeah. Well,
Who knows?
it's like Superstar. Someone must have it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe one day we'll see all those things come out.
Yeah. But in those days, it looked like the Glitter Band were just these long-haired backing band of Garys,
Yeah.
And that's what I like. That's what I like watching.
That's the image you like the best of. Yeah. All right. Well, you've been listening to the Glitter Glam Rock podcast. You can listen to us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd like to hear any comments you guys have, especially your favorite glam movies or movies that we mightn't have covered or we mightn't have thought of. Remember, we're on the other side of the world in Australia, so we didn't get much out here, did we?
Yeah, and we were only 8 years old, 8 or 9 or something.
That's right. You can also listen to us on Spotify. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to us all over the place.
If you want.
Exactly. If you want. So I'm Greg.
No, I'm Martin.
And
rock on.